Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to talk about this Lienhard Anschuetz rifles. Let us start with the beginning. The company Lienhard was founded in 1922 and it produced systems which can be used in the Swiss Ordonnanz rifles, like this one which I already showed you with is 4mm. And here you see we also produced something in 22 long rifle, so den Patroneneinsatzlauf, so inlay system Lienhard model 11 number 7. Maybe there's also a number 1 to 6, and you can put this in, at least this is what we say, within 1 minute. And it works the following way. You have a barrel, you have here at the end something like a small tube. You can put the round in. This closes then. This is operated by the normal bolt. And you put the whole thing in the barrel, and at the end there's a screw which fixes this one in the real barrel, and that's basically all. What you see here is a permanently installed 22 long rifle system in an otherwise normal K31, and we see they put their logo, so this is the Lienhard logo on top of this Swiss cross, and this is a normal K31. However, it's now changed permanently to shoot 22 long rifle. You see there is this massive tube where you put in the round and this you throw in, but otherwise it's a normal K31, just the sighting is changed from 1500 meters, it's now up to 200 meters. And the barrel is permanently in. I thought that they are soldered, but Werner Kessler told me that they are fixed with kind of Loctite, so they are glued in, but it's impossible to remove them. And I cannot imagine that they made a lot of them. So this one has a single digit serial number. And the reason is, I showed you in the other video, the price list of Hammerly rifles. So a match rifle, expensive match rifle was 2000 francs, the carbine with a new Hammerly barrel was 200 francs. A match rifle from the same company would cost today's 8000 francs. That means a carbine would cost about 2000 francs, but it's cheaper. A new one is so about 500, 600. And when you have a new Hammerly barrel installed, you pay about 800. So, but at the time, the K31 was something of value. And then you buy other expensive parts, put in, and then you basically turn your weapon into a toy. 22 long rifle at the time was considered a toy and not a weapon. Good old times. Unfortunately, they are over. Just imagine you have a Ferrari with 600 horsepower. Very expensive one, you buy a toolkit, and this permanently reduces the 600 horsepower to 60 horsepower. This is the change in muscle energy which you have here from 3,500 joule to about 300 joule. So it's probably very difficult to sell such a weapon or such a toy. Hammerly apparently had the idea of producing rifles just in 22, so not convert K31s, but build something which looks like a K31 in 1942. And Lienhard did the same, so this is a rifle which is already built as a 22 long rifle by Lienhard, and this one is produced 1945. And the reason why I can tell you exactly when production of this rifle started is this issue of a Swiss journal, Der Schweizer Soldat, the Swiss soldier, and this one is from April 1945, and there is an article, Der neue Kleinkaliber-Karabiner, the new 22 long rifle carbine, and what you see in the hands of this man is exactly the rifle you have seen before. This is Mr. Lienhard himself presenting one of his 4mm systems to army officers. The other things are some pictures from inside the company Lienhard. Here you see how we test fire the rifle. This is the tunnel we use. And here on the lower left you see groups which we obtained by firing these rifles, and we say 2 of them are all in the 10 according to the new way of counting, and all others are all 10s after the old way of counting. So the group size is with the 2 better ones a little bit below 1.5 centimeters, and the other ones are a little bit below 2 centimeters. So we are back with the rifle, and you see it has a sight which can be adjusted to 200 meters, and it has a fine adjustment, so for sport shooting. And the bolt assembly actually is the same as with the other rifle before, and this is like most K31s. You turn this to the side, you can remove the cocking piece, can remove the sleeve. Then you see there are 2 pins here, so this is still for central fire. The whole thing moves, and there are 2 holes in. And in this one, here we are. Maybe you don't see it, but there is only 1 hole which is off center. It's clear because it's a rim fire. So this is the place where central fire is converted into rim fire. Reassembly is as simple as with the K31. According to swisswaffen.com, the highest production number of this one was 642. So my serial number is lower, does not argue against this. And we know it because in Switzerland the rifles are test fired before they can be sold. And this test firing of course is recorded. And the latest record of such a rifle was from 1955. And the rifle had a serial number 642. That's the highest known serial number of these rifles. I told you the production of the other rifles stopped in about 1955. What followed this? And you see, that's the rifle which was brought to the market in 1957. This actually is a cooperation between Lienhard and Anschuetz, and the name is Lienhard Anschuetz Model 57 Ordonnanz-Carbine. Unlike the name suggests, this is not an ordnance rifle or an army trainer. This is purely for sport shooting. And one of the main reasons we did this maybe is cost reduction. So Anschuetz apparently made the system, and it made the bolt. I can remove this, and you can see here, that's the one from this one. This is the one from an Anschuetz match rifle, and they are indistinguishable. They fit, this one would fit here if not for this bolt at the end, but otherwise they are entirely the same. So this made production apparently easier and cheaper. The whole system is Anschuetz, but the appearance is still like a K31. It's just not a straight pull anymore, it is a straight pull pretender, because it opens like any other bolt action rifle. But cutting production costs maybe not the only reason. This is a picture of the rifle, as you can find it at swisswaffen.com, of the rifle I showed you before, and you see there is a cut out here on this side, and this probably did a gunsmith later on to mount the W&F diopter to these rifles. By the way, what you see here is the trigger assembly of the rifle before. I did not show it to you, or I did not disassemble the gun, because I cannot tell you anyway what is what for this. And here you see, for pleasing the sport shooters, we have an 11mm prism rail here that you can mount any diopter you want to this rifle. And in addition, very nice for sport shooters, maybe I hope you see it, there's a small screw which you can see here. Huh? So this is an Anschuetz trigger which is adjustable. So this is a pure sport rifle, and unlike the name suggests, so Ordonnanz-Carbine, this is not an ordnance. It's not a service rifle, was never used for army training. And as you may see, this one, this is from 1968. This was used in target shooting. This is, maybe you remember from my first video from the Hammery rifles, where I had this. The gunsmith has to check all the rifles before you start the competition, whether they are safe to use and everything is according to the rules. And with this piece of paper, the range officer knows that the gun was checked. I tried to test fire this rifle, and you may see this has a special rear sight and is adjustable in windage and elevation, so this is something special. And it also has an additional, I hope you see this, it has an additional post sight, in addition to the service one. So this is sportified, and I tried to shoot with this, but it was at least 1 foot away from the place I aimed to, and with the electronic targets I could not show this to you because I could not zoom it in. I will repeat this, but I will use a different thing for aiming. I will tell you in a moment. Just to tell you, this rifle still has a magazine well, but it's blind, so you cannot use the magazine, but the well is cut out. This will be important later. The rifle you see here could be the brother of the rifle you've seen before. The almost only difference you may notice immediately is the charging handle. This looks now like any other bolt action rifle and does not pretend to be a K31 anymore. However, the stock, everything else remains still on the K31. This is the only obvious difference which you see from top. So the normal handle, it has an standard K31 rear sight and also the standard K31 front sight. What you may notice is A, the missing mag well, and B, this small screw which was here with the other rifle to adjust the trigger also disappeared. So this trigger is still an Anschuetz trigger, but it's a little bit simpler. If you want to adjust it, you have to disassemble the whole thing and then you can do something. So I told you about the mag well from the one rifle and the other, and apparently there is no rule, because the guns which are featured at swisswaffen.com, there you see the Model 1 does not have a mag well, mine does, and the other one, the one with the normal charging handle, does have a mag well and mine does not. So apparently there is no rule which gun has a mag well and which one doesn't. But it's clear that in 1957 the production of the K31 stopped, because the Sturmgewehr 57, as the name 57 suggests, came in production, and apparently they used up old stocks whenever they were available. I did not shoot this rifle yet because I have it only since a very short time, the range was closed, but I will definitely do so, and I will shoot it with normal iron sights, and I will also try to get the best precision out of it possible, but I will not mount in diopter, because when you do so you also have to make something like a tunnel, so you have to elevate the front sight, otherwise it doesn't work. But I bought an adapter from 11mm to Picatinny, and I have this scope which has a 3-fold magnification, which is usually used on the G36 of the German Ordonnanz rifle. There it has also an hollow point sight and a battery housing and a carrying handle, but all these things I do not need. I have just the 3-fold magnification scope, and it's relatively short and it's relatively low. And the good thing is it will not interfere with the extraction of the spended rounds or with feeding rounds, and it's so low that you do not need to add an additional cheek rest. If you have usually scope mounts for the K31, you have to add something like this to aim properly. I will pit my Lienhard Anschuetz Model 57 with this Polish Mosin Nagant. This is a real army trainer, or actually used for education of junior shooters, and we will see which one is more precise. The trigger of this rifle is awful as compared to the Anschuetz 57. I'm aware that there are match triggers available for the Mosin Nagant, but because you have to do changes to the stock, I probably will not install the match trigger, and we will see what is best. At the end of the video I will show you this commemorative. This is, if you wish to tell it like this, a cooperation between Waffenfabrik Bern, Hämmerli and Lienhard Anschuetz. Lienhard Anschuetz at this time was already König Elmiger. This is a commemorative Jubiläumskarabiner. Das ist ein KK-Karabiner Jubiläum. The serial number is 101. And on the stock, which I do not show you, there was this inlay, 700 years Confederation Helvetic, 1291-1991. So this is a commemorative which was issued 700 years Switzerland. And as I said, the breech is from Waffenfabrik Bern. The barrels were inlaid by Hämmerli, but probably provided by Lienhard, at this time Anschuetz, and the breech is also a Lienhard system. What did change to the very first Lienhards? You see, this time was very massive. This looks much smaller, lighter, and it's closed at this part. But otherwise, the whole bolt assembly is identical. Provided with every of these commemorative carbines in 22 long rifle is something like a quality deed. So you see the dispersion of 10 rounds, 50 meters, and the radius is maybe about 2 centimeters, 1 inch. What you see now are ammunition tests in one of the best textbooks I know. This is Wege des Gewehres, so ways of the rifle, or Gando if you want to translate it into English Japanese. And here you can see the result of ammo tests, and this is the one you are aiming for. This is more or less in the original size, so this is smaller than 1 centimeter, less than half of an inch, and you see several others which are not really useful for a match rifle anymore. So this is the result of about 27 types of ammos in 50 or more pictures we took, and just to select the best ammo for the rifle. So this is what a match rifle is requested to do today. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you like it. I could show you this commemorative carbine thanks to Werner and Ines Kessler from the Kessler Auction House in Kreuzlingen, Switzerland. This one is currently in the repair shop, and maybe it is commercially available in the foreseeable future. So if you are interested in, check the website of the Kessler Auktionshaus. And I'm very happy to announce that I will be able to produce part 3 and part 4 of the K31 lookalikes, and one is with the Lüthi carbine and the other one hopefully with the carbine from Vorder. But that's really all for today. Have a nice day and see you soon.